I told you like a fortnight back that the Premier League had gone ahead to write to Mikel Arteta, to write to Mikel Arteta to obviously coming through and tell them what his thoughts are about the statements put out after the controversial goal that Arsenal conceded against Newcastle that was scored by Gordon. In there for you. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Good morning, guys. It's a Friday. Juma Karim to the Muslims and the Christians. May the living to God bless you abundantly. We thank God for the gift of life, and we're here to obviously see to it that we hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And this is going to be possible because of you, the viewers of Rokani Media Football. And smash the like button close to 300 likes 300 times, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now we are obviously going to talk about Graeme Souness having something to say about Mikel Arteta and what VAR went ahead to say about the scenarios that really took part into the game of Arsenal versus Newcastle. Then we discuss about Gabriel Martinelli on target as Brazil lost to Colombia by 2-1, and really I think that will be enough, not so? Then we'll call it the first video of the day. Now let's start it off with what the FA statement reads like about Mikel Arteta. Now the FA statement reads like: Mikel Arteta has been charged with a breach of FA rule E3-1 following comments that he made in media interviews after Arsenal's Premier League game against Newcastle on Saturday, 4th November. It's alleged that his comments constitute misconduct as they're insulting words towards the match officials and / all detrimental to the game and all bring the game into disrepute. Mikel Arteta has until Tuesday 21st to provide a response to his charge. I told you when I brought you that story, I think like a fortnight back, that what the FA is going to do is simple. They are going to charge Mikel Arteta and they want to penalize him, for what he said in protection of the inconsistency of the VAR. This is the most disturbing bit about this story. How can you defend something that is obviously inconsistent? And these referees have not gone ahead to go to book. That's the problem. So Arteta came out and really expressed himself on how he felt about VAR, and they've gone ahead to obviously frustrate him. He's not the only one who's been frustrated. Very many managers have gone ahead to be frustrated by the FA because they want to protect their referees that obviously do things that are literally wrong. So this is really unbelievable that VAR is doing this, and they need to find themselves a better place to be. And when you look at Mikel Arteta, he put out statements that were really so pathetic when it came to VAR. And guys, that game shows you how maybe sometimes VAR makes it a point to obviously come out and really decide on which team is to win and which result they want to come out of that game, because they can easily now get a result go their side. VAR is really very inconsistent, and for me, I was happy when Mikel Arteta came out and obviously sounded that, because it needed to be sounded at a certain point X, as if it was not to be sounded, lots of things were going to happen. And I think however much he gets a ban of how many games or a fine, it is really going to look good for me, because if these managers come out and obviously tell the FA that please, VAR is a nuisance of the game, something needs to be done, because you can tell me that VAR came out and said the following about this foul. Look at this. Let me try to bring this onto your screen. Now, if you're the manager and VAR comes out and says that I don't see a specific foul on Gabriel Magalhaes, I see 2 hands on his back, but I don't see anything of a push that warrants him flying forward like that. Now, This is just a use of common sense. Now, if you think there is no particular push, why is it that Gabriel Magalhaes misses out on this header? That's the big question. And if it was Joe Wellington in the position of Gabriel Magalhaes, and Gabriel Magalhaes was really putting his two hands onto Joe Wellington misses out on that header and he goes down, what would have gone ahead to be the verdict of VAR? So in the game of football, a mere slight push results into your not heading that ball. And look at those hands, guys. How can someone jump? This is just mere common sense. How can someone jump, and rests his hands onto your back and he doesn't really push you? You mean Joe Wellington is like a Superman that when he obviously jumps over you, he has no impact, onto your body stance? This is really stupidity of VAR, guys. Just use your common sense. Jump on someone, touch someone's back and jump and see what's going to happen. If Joe Wellington never needed the support of Gabriel Jesus, why didn't he always rest his hands in space? But he never. And see how he goes on to him. That's why I have a very bad thought about VAR. It's not that every decision they make is obviously shrewd. They've gone ahead to make very many good decisions, but as per now, this one I think was stupid. That is it. So VAR is a joke. That's it. It's a joke, and Arteta was really right to go after them. And I know he's going to put in his defense, and after putting in his defense, they might ban him for 3 games when he's not onto the touchline. That's what they're going to do, to obviously threaten every manager, right? To come out and obviously not speak out his mind when his team is really subjected to such controversial judgments by VAR. I really showed you Rashford's ball when Man United was playing Brighton and the ball of Newcastle. For Rashford, they said the ball was outside. For Newcastle, they said the ball was onside. So they play it according to how they want it to play. So it's really very bad that we are having VAR and it's obviously treating people like this. Now, VAR in this same game, if you remember this scenario of Bruno Guimaraes elbowing the head of Jorginho, VAR said he lifts his arm up because he's going into the defender. He sees the player, he puts his arm up. There is a glancing blow from the side. For me, that's not used as a weapon. It's not violent conduct. Now, what if it was Jorginho, in the 18-yard box area, and that hand he raises hits the ball? What would have been the situation? So VAR is just very, 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 very chaotic. Its inconsistency has gone ahead to obviously raise a lot of dust in Premier League football. And you don't find such scenarios in different leagues like the Spanish La Liga, Serie A, and very many others. And I feel for the managers, because a manager, one day, a manager will lose his job because of VAR decisions. When a manager loses games and VAR has been the reason as why they're losing games, then all what they have to do is to come out and really go at it. Mikel Arteta, to me, he did the right thing as a manager, and the club came out to obviously back him. So even Graeme Souness came out and obviously put out a following story via the Mail, and he said, So I have to say, I have sympathy with Mikel Arteta over his reaction for fragmentarily poor refereeing decision last weekend against Newcastle. I've been in his shoes. The conclusion that Anthony Gordon's goal for Newcastle should stand was plainly wrong to anyone with an ounce of knowledge of the game. And of course, Mikel was having to come to terms with the fact that those officials were equipped with most sophisticated video technology known to man. You have to ask yourself how hard it must have been for him when he walked into his press conference, given that he had half an hour to calm down, yet still went for the officials and their decision making is a big way. I can well imagine how he felt. I would have been boiling. It's all very well for people to say Arteta's let his great club down because they have a reputation for class, but I don't see it like that. Yes, for me, Arsenal have always been one of the classiest clubs, but I saw Arteta as a man whose frustrations were so enormous that he just couldn't deal with it in the cold, calculated way that the experts seem to think he should have done. So, for me, I really liked what Arteta really had to do, because after the game, you have 30 minutes to come through and obviously talk to the press. You can't obviously do this. And remember, after the game, he goes back to the dressing room and rewatches that, rewatches that, and it's obviously a farce. You can't come out and obviously let things like that happen in the game of football. And VAR is being backed by the FA to obviously penalize the manager. And they're trying to obviously stop the dogs from wagging their tails. That leaves a bitter taste in a mouth. Sorry, that leaves a bitter taste in the mouth of everyone that really loves the game of football, because it is really coming to every team. Manchester United have been culprits, Arsenal have been, Man City have been, Chelsea have been, Liverpool have been, and even those who think that it benefits them at a certain point, one point when it matters most, VAR is going to come up and make a decision that will cost you 3 points that would have gone ahead to take you to the top of the table or maybe qualify for the Champions League. Because when you look at teams like Arsenal, last season, they lost the trophy because of VAR 2 decisions. One against West Ham, Declan Rice goes ahead to steal that ball from Thomas Partey, and he's aided by his hand to obviously move it into his vicinity, and VAR never went ahead to obviously play it again. Yet we saw it that Declan Rice used his hand against Brentford. Arsenal had led that game by 1-0. Ivan Toney levels the game when he was offside. So VAR can only come out and really issue out apologies, but the game of football cannot be replayed again. So Arteta is going to be charged, that's it. Because even if he puts in his defense, they are not going to obviously listen to him. So guys, your thoughts on Arteta being charged by FA are welcome in the comment section below. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Juma Karim, Rokani David remains my name. Good morning. See you in the next 2-3 hours from now. I'm out.